Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of Two Nose and a No Clue. We're talking Survivor Game Changers. Alright, that was pretty fresh, pretty fast.
Yeah.
Right, we just finished the episode, and initial thoughts. I'm sure that's what most people are going to be thinking.
Oh yeah, I'm still figuring out how I feel about that tribal game mechanic, because I feel like it worked out okay here, because people had some idea of what to vote for, so it might be something they could try again, but it also seems like here it worked out really well with the 5 to 6, but then the 5 were able to turn it around and vote out the physical threat. So it does like not guarantee security for the physical threats, but it's a little weird because like you have all that like people standing up and talking to each other at tribal because like that's their only chance to. So I feel like if they're going to do it again, they need to find some better way to navigate that.
Yeah. Great idea on paper, right?
Yeah.
Sorry I cut you off.
No.
Great idea because it's an interesting shift in the game that we've never seen where, you know, now instead of going back to camp and having to talk with your tribe mates about who to vote off on your tribe, you get to all work together to decide who to eliminate on the other tribe, which is a cool idea. The problem is that this twist goes against the integrity of the game, and here's why. Like I said, the whole point is normally you have to make the connections you need to advance yourself in the game, and with this twist, it's completely random. You don't know what half the people voting are thinking. And that, I think, goes against the integrity of the game. If Sierra went home tonight, I would be thinking the same thing. I just don't like the twist.
But the one thing is, sorry, I'll let you speak in a second. But the one response to that is that, like I said when we were watching the episode, that the tribes have already mixed, so there are some past relationships playing a role. Now, what do you have to say, my love?
But okay.
All right, then. I mean, honestly, I get your point, Sandra, but I still think...
Sandra, the queen stays queen.
But I mean, like, I disagree, though. I don't think you would have had the same reaction had Sierra gone home. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's really, it makes harder of a point, though, when you see Malcolm go home, someone who's clearly very much a strong player, and, like, pretty well-liked to go home that way kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But, like...
But I like Sierra.
I don't necessarily know if it goes against the whole integrity of the game. This game doesn't really have any integrity, is what I've learned from it so far.
It has rules. It has a bounds of rules.
But not really. It's called Game Changers on top of it.
And it did succeed in that.
I mean, none of the players have any integrity. Why should the game?
But think of it if you're Malcolm or Sierra, right? This sucks. Like, you can't plan for this. Malcolm did nothing wrong. I can't think of a single thing he did wrong to actually cause... With every single tribal council, the person going home, there's a reason why they went home. They didn't anticipate this happening, or they didn't make a good enough connection with this tribe member. Malcolm didn't do anything.
No.
All he did was be friends with JT, who badmouthed him.
I'm still not sure about that. I'm a bit confused on the circumstances of that. But I don't know. I don't necessarily agree. Like, yeah, he could have done something different, but you could also argue he could have done something more. He could have made better friends with the other team. He should have tried connecting more. He could have.
But how can he be better with the other team? He can't because he can't talk to them.
How can you be better friends with your own team? It's Survivor.
You're on the beach with them. You can talk to them 24/7.
Yeah, there's no chance.
He literally cannot talk to them.
Well, he knew what's it called. He knew at least one person on the other team.
He knew Brad Culpepper.
Yeah.
Who's the... Like, he was on a team with them.
Haley was on his team before.
Yeah, but he couldn't actually make and develop a plan with them before tribal council.
But I mean, he could as much as everyone else. Like, I do feel bad for him, granted, but this game doesn't seem to have any set defined rules or really logic to it. So
I think it has a lot.
You might as well throw it out.
Okay.
How would you feel about
agree
this
to disagree.
if they went back to the same beach after the immunity challenge?
That would be better.
Solve the problem?
That would be better.
Because they'd still have the tribes competing, but
I thought they would do
have...
that.
Yeah.
I thought that they would do that. I think that would have been a really good fix, honestly, to the problem.
Or just both send one home. Honestly, I would
Or
prefer
both send one home. That would be better, too. I would prefer either one of those to what we got.
Yeah.
It made for great TV.
Yeah.
Like, that was shocking.
We got an idol. It was
great
it played out well.
It did look like a bunch of kindergartners passing around secrets in a telephone circle. But
Jeff Probst can't contain himself. Everyone's talking in tribal council. I mean, that was really cool.
Jeff Probst's a bit easily excited here. Like, oh my gosh, they're talking to each other and making alliances. Like, Jeff, have you been to the beach? That's what they do.
Honestly, I can't believe they even voted for Sierra, though. Like, why didn't they vote out Ty? Ty would have been a much better pick to vote out.
They voted out Sierra because she was the strongest woman on the tribe.
But, like
Like,
she
in challenges.
was pretty irrelevant, it seemed. She didn't do that much. It didn't seem like she was actually that huge of a threat. They should have voted a tie.
They also knew she wasn't savvy enough to find an idol. And she wasn't. The only reason she had it is because of Ty.
I'm still bitter, though, because Ty, I'm very angry at him for what he did to Caleb. And I'm bitter about Sandra because, god darn it, you don't kill goats!
She didn't kill a goat.
She actually slayed 2 goats in the final tribal council of Heroes versus Villains. Just saying.
I almost kicked JT off my team last week because he got a little too close to hurting one of those goats. Mm-hmm. I'm very glad they changed their mind at the end. Not so hot on Sandra, though. And Ty for backstabbing our innocent little man, Caleb.
All right, well, what do you guys think of Ty tonight? Hero has an idol, save Sierra. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I think he did a good job.
I think he found the idol, and normally I'd call him an idiot because he went and told everybody. But this was the perfect idea.
Yeah.
Like,
he did gain their trust.
He had a 5-6 disadvantage. Mm-hmm. He had the idol, and he leveraged it as perfectly as possible.
Now he's the hero, and it's great.
Now everyone loves him.
That is the one nice thing about this twist, is it does emphasize, like, the tribe unity. Like, it, like you said at the beginning, it doesn't make them fight against each other in their tribe. It is like, as a tribe, what should we do? Mm-hmm. So the downside is it just makes them vote out the biggest physical threat on the other tribe, which is, like, weird, because, like, we saw them all, like, you know, strategizing at tribal, but it boiled down to a very simple, like, well, Malcolm's the strongest player on your tribe, and, like, Sierra's, like, one of the strongest women on your tribe, so this is what we're doing.
My also thing, though, is now Ty's going to be a huge threat to the blue team.
Maybe? I don't know why.
I feel
why
like
do you say that?
They already know that he's, like, specifically going, like, or maybe they don't know the whole ins and out of what happened with Caleb, but they know that he's, like, willing to, like, basically put himself before the, like, voting other people out, so you know he's kind of ruthless. They know he can find idols. They know he's going to be very strategic.
Right. But there's also the connotation where last season he played, which you don't know, but the last season he played in a similar way, and he got to the final 3. He made it all the way to the end of the game,
but didn't he get,
and
like,
no one
votes?
voted for him because they were annoyed with his gameplay. So if you're with Ty, you probably want to take him to the end because you figure it'll probably play out similarly.
Not necessarily.
But you don't always know.
But what if you're a person like Sandra who, like, doesn't think that she's going to get a lot of votes anyway?
Exactly. That jury in particular sucked. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of bitter Bettys. And look, that's the game, right? The whole point. You go to the end and you have to get the jury votes.
Yeah.
But that jury in particular based their voting criteria on more like, I like you, or you didn't betray me, rather than you played the best game.
But, like,
know?
let's be real. Part of the game is knowing that people are going to vote at the end, like, based on, like, how much they respect you. And, like, had I been on a jury and played this game, I wouldn't vote for the person who betrayed me. Yeah. I don't care if it's a good game. I'm not going to vote for that person.
I would if they played the best strategic
if they want to win my vote, they should cater to my vote. They shouldn't betray me.
Well, and that's almost a shift that's happening,
you have to
where,
betray
like,
people, though.
The old school way of Survivor is a lot more, you know, bitter jury, like, you know, make sure the people in the jury are happy, and, like, the new school has all these fans of the game that are playing, and they're like, yeah, I totally respect that move that voted me out.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the players that are playing.
Absolutely.
I still disagree. I think if you're gonna, you need to play the game in the sense that you're trying to win over votes currently, but you're also trying to win up votes in the long game. Yeah.
But Ty's in a great spot because he saved Sierra. He made a big move in front of all these people that gives him a great resume already. Haha. And, I mean, he's looking very good. Mm-hmm. He did screw up in the challenge. This is actually a good segue. Let's talk about Culpepper.
Oh gosh, the edit this, like, previously on, it was just like the hero of the tribe, Culpepper, you know, rounded up the troops. It was just like, okay.
Yeah. I didn't see that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was, I think it's really interesting because he's shown to be in control and he's shown to be probably the best player on the tribe, which is good, but there are little things in there that are making me a little wary of him.
Yeah, like the blue eyes thing.
Like the blue eyes comment.
I hated that. That was so demeaning.
Yeah. He's like, yo, blue eyes. Yo, look at me.
That was not cool.
And I'm like, okay, they didn't have to put that in there. And then they had another thing at Tribal where he's like, you know, if she goes against us, she's going to be public enemy number 1. Yeah, and she's like, so that's your way of roping me in? What are you saying?
Yeah, no, I wasn't hugely on, like, Haley's side, and I wasn't, like, a huge fan. I understand that she was, like, the newest person on the team, but the way the rest of their team was treating Haley, I, like, felt for her. Like, I would be pissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were treating her like dirt.
They were clearly like, we're the 4 strong,
like,
and you're
you go against it, like, you're out, you're done. Like, calling her this, I don't know, I got
But they're right.
If
she flips and votes out Sierra,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing would change,
that wouldn't have
obviously.
helped here.
Nothing would have changed.
It would have just been bad.
And she knew that. She knew that there was a good chance this would happen, so she did the best thing for her. JT did the absolute worst thing for him, which we'll get to. I think it was the worst possible thing.
I'm still confused, though, on what's the dealing of that. To me, I understand you saw the interviews and stuff. It still seemed to me like it was part of their plan to tell them that they were going to vote for Sierra. I thought it was like a reverse psychology type of thing.
Apparently it wasn't. Although, what do you think they would have to gain?
Well,
or JT? JT, I think in his head, was saying, look, if I tell Brad Culpepper who they're voting for, I can probably get them to change their votes, and I'll tell them I'll flip with them.
Yeah.
Well, I thought what was...
But he didn't do that.
Well, it's like... Yeah, I don't think he was trying to, like, play a game with them, just because, like, I don't know why he would, like, say Sierra and then, like, assume they'd think something else.
He was thinking they were going to vote for Sandra.
Yeah.
He told them,
yes,
we're
definitely.
voting for Sierra, you guys vote for Sandra, I'll also vote for Sandra. However, he actually didn't have any intention of flipping, so I don't understand the move. If he actually pulled it off, that would have been pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if he had known they were voting for Malcolm. Because Malcolm was, like, his ally.
Well,
how that would have...
Yeah.
And Sierra might have
What I
found.
thought
Granted, he
was
couldn't
gonna
do
happen-
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I thought was going to happen is he was going to tell them, hey, we're all going to vote for Sierra, and then they were all going to try to protect Sierra, and then they were going to actually vote for, like, Ty or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's originally what it was going to be, but I don't know.
But they did not do that. If they were voting for Ty, that would be insane. If he played the idol in Sierra and then
That
got
would have
screwed.
sucked.
That would have been really sad. Luckily, he's still there. Team
Wish that had
Adam
happened.
keeps Ty.
Yeah.
One thing about Ty, though, he does have this big move of I idled out Malcolm. But it's like, when he got up to play the idol, who did he look for? He looked at Brad, and Brad was like, play it on her.
Yeah.
So it was all him, really.
Yeah.
He's really the best player here.
I still don't like him, though.
I think he's the best player right now
I
in the
don't
game.
like him.
Brad Culpepper.
He's getting a lot of credit for moves, which is like a Survivor
A
wrestling.
good thing,
but, like,
yeah.
People are seeing him as someone who is making moves, so, which can be a threat, but also can be like, okay, we'll vote for you.
I'm getting weird Ken vibes. Like he looks really good at the beginning, but there are like little signs that something's weird.
Yeah.
And I
I
feel
feel
like
like
later he's gonna lose.
He's going to get cocky and people are going to turn against him. That's my
Yeah,
prediction.
maybe at the end in the final 3, maybe he'll make it to the end and get screwed.
And get
I don't
0
know.
votes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he'd get 0.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
It's hard to tell.
A
at
lot
this
can
point.
change.
Yeah.
In game changers.
Well, now none of us have a perfect team. You've
Yeah.
lost 2.
Everyone's lost someone.
I lost
I
Caleb.
lost
and now you lost Malcolm.
We haven't had an outcast week yet.
That was sad.
No?
So to remind everyone, we all have our fantasy teams. We'll put them up on the screen right now. And basically, there are 2 players that none of us chose. I think it was Sarah
And Jeff.
Jeff.
and Jeff Varner. So if one of them goes home, all of our teams are safe for that round. However, both of them are still here. So we don't know how long they'll go. Who knows? Maybe they'll be in the final 3.
That would be
Yeah.
entertaining.
That
What
would
if
be
And
really-
Jeff
wins?
Varner seems to be doing well.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen some good
Actually,
stuff.
I like Jeff
he
Varner.
has done well. I was surprised.
He did blow the challenge today.
Yeah, that's true.
For Nuku? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nuku.
Wait, wasn't the person... No, Ty almost blew the challenge, and then at the very end, Jeff Warner saved them. That was the reward challenge.
That was the
that was-
reward
okay,
challenge, and that was
gotcha.
Culpepper, not
was
Varner.
Culpepper.
Sorry, I get
Yeah.
names.
No worries. So that's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, he was right there. He was in the inner circle, and he just shifted the wrong way. Why'd they put him on there? He was up on the thing yelling the whole time. He was probably like worn out.
Yeah.
They should
Sure.
put
I mean,
like
they might
Aubrey
have
on
thought
there.
he'd be the least physically worn out because he was just standing there, but...
Right.
Or
But it
he
takes a
might-
lot of effort to.
I mean, or he might have just said, hey, I'm good at this sort of thing, and he actually wasn't. Like,
Right.
We don't know how they
What I
decided.
still don't understand is also why Troyzan was able to just sit out.
Basically, what happened was they had an extra member. So the other tribes both.
Oh.
They had 5 people, and the other had 6. So they each had to pick someone to sit out.
Oh,
They
I see,
chose
I see.
Troyzan. The other team chose Sandra.
Gotcha.
So Sandra and Troyzan didn't do anything. So, all right. So we have kind of conflicted views on Malcolm going home. We still.
I think he could have done so much more.
What
That
could-
is sad.
yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I
He went
gone
too
so
soon, and he
far.
was so upset in that final one. I was just like,
That was
oh,
really
let
sad.
him come back in a few
I don't think he
seasons.
would have won, but I think he would
He
have
would've
made
gone
it to
far.
like the
He could have made it to
6.
the merge,
Yeah.
definitely.
I agree. He could have made it really far.
Yeah.
So-
This was a big upset.
Do we have any new predictions on who do we think is going to lose / who do we think is going to go home next?
JT.
JT.
And I've said JT the past 2 weeks. The only reason he's still here is because of this twist. If they both were voting someone out, he would be gone.
Yeah.
And he had the golden opportunity to make a game-changing move. I think he either shouldn't have said anything, which it was so stupid to go to Brad. So he either shouldn't have said anything and they could have all just voted for Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could have said, vote for Sandra and I'll tell you who they're voting for.
Yeah.
And get the good favor.
Yeah.
But he didn't do either one.
Yeah, because he gave them something without really getting something. He was like, here's my information, and they're like, great.
Yep. Exactly. So now he goes back to
Thank
camp,
you.
and they're all like, screw you,
Yeah.
and they're going to vote him out.
Yeah.
They might throw the challenge.
Really?
I doubt they'd go
They
that
they could if they wanted to.
I feel
feel
like
like
they wouldn't.
They won't, but they
like,
can.
because Sandra's on his team. Sandra's not going to say, I
Yeah.
think I can go to tribal.
Also,
Yeah.
why would they throw the challenge? Because just in case, like, say JT has an idol.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fair. And he was looking for one. He stranded his whole team in the
Maybe
middle of
he'll
the
find
ocean
it next
just to get one.
episode.
So,
I
yeah,
think
he
they're
could find
trying-
one.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he's done. I think he's screwed.
Unfortunately, I agree. I think JT.
What about
would be
Debbie?
next.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie looks like she's gonna lose it, and they're both on my team, so I'm kind of like, what is
Yeah.
going on with my team?
Team Madeline's crumbling. Well, you didn't know anyone prior, so.
I don't know. Some of my people are doing pretty strong, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, who's on your team? Do you remember?
Let's see. I have Caleb, Michaela, JT,
Debbie.
Debbie, Sierra, who almost went home.
Yeah,
And
Zeke, right?
No,
No.
he's not Zeke.
Well, Michaela's doing well.
What else?
She hasn't done
very
much.
quiet.
But
She's under the radar, and that's fine.
You
for
want to
me.
be like that right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking of her, Aubrey, Sarah, Andrea. Like, those people are going to be really
Very much
good
on
at
the
the
radar.
halfway point.
Even Zeke we haven't seen much of
Zeke,
yet.
Sari.
Yeah, that's true.
Although
Like,
Sari
there's
is
a lot
kind
of
of a
these
little
good
bit.
players from past seasons that just are not quite the best.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think Debbie is also very vocally aggressive, so it might just like her having a small meltdown that leads to nothing next week's episode.
Maybe.
Yeah. I
It's
think
never
if-
good to have a meltdown
I
in
think
Survivor.
if her tribe doesn't go to tribal, they might be able to get past it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
if she has a meltdown and then they go to tribal, I think that won't bode well for her, but if they don't go to tribal, I feel like if she becomes fine again, then she'll be fine.
See, that's the problem with this. Everything is very much like just what happens when. If your team happens to go to tribal when you're in the worst spot, then you have a much greater chance of going home. And if you just get one more week, you can get through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of the game,
It's
though. You
unfortunate.
always have to be aware that that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm against this twist, which I said before, is that you can't really prepare for that in the first place. I think if they both went to the same beach and had an
that
opportunity to
would've been a good
make
fix.
different alliances and come up with a different plan, it would have been fair, because that's still the game. It's just a little bit more fast. This seemed a bit too much to me. I hope we
Yeah.
never see this again. In my opinion.
I think if they do the same beach thing, or if they sometimes they'll have rewards with two tribes going, or like they'll mix up tribes. So I like that idea. Like they've had other events in past seasons that have like served to have the different tribes, just talk to each other even. So if they make it more of one of those, it could work. But I still think, 2 people should go. And that's all the time I have. These 2 will wrap it up.
All right.
See you guys.
Last
Well-
comment quickly about the last episode.
Yes.
Or today's episode. Why was it so much easier to find Ty's idol than Troyzan's idol?
Yeah,
to
that's
get?
a weird thing, too.
That was so easy
Troyzan
to
had
get.
to, in the middle of the challenge, risk his life, essentially, in front of everybody.
And then, Ty was just like, oh, buried treasure, X marks the spot.
Conveniently, right before the vote, too.
Yeah.
A little weird, but then again, there could be
It's rigged.
just, every idol's a little different. I don't really know, but it does kind of suck.
It's rigged.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I don't
yeah.
like the host interfering in decision makings. How he's always like, yeah, how do you feel about this? And prodding. That
Well,
to me
he's
is
just
weird.
trying to get a response out of people. That they need that for TV.
He's
if they're just all
annoying.
sitting
I don't
there
like
not
him.
saying anything, I love Jeff Probst. You don't like
so
Jeff?
annoying. He's probably, if there's a way to vote him out, he'd be my number 1 pick to vote out.
No, I love Jeff. Jeff's amazing. Jeff
him
should
out.
play the game.
Fire him.
I guess we're good, though. I think we covered just about
that's about
everything. Slightly shorter episode, but thanks for tuning in.
Speed version.
Speed version, that's right. And we'll see you next week.
And here's to a speedy goodbye of the host.